So with rain pouring down, here it is, game 4 of the weekend, and South Sydney against Manly. And this Rabbitohs side, beaten by Penrith last week, led 14-0 at one stage, beaten by the Warriors round 1 in Perth. And there's the first penalty of the match for inside the 10.
Well, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. There has been a crackdown on this. We've noticed that over the first round 3, the first few games that we have watched. And it only took 30 seconds before the first penalty has been blown.
And loose, almost lost by Murray there on halfway. By the way, we will explain with the young South Sydney halfback, Adam Dewey. He has been Dwayhe, and it is a little complicated. Dwayhe is the pronunciation. Ball, or hand on the ball, stripping it away from Burgess. Another penalty for South Sydney. But after a chat with dad and son, they said, well, look, people struggle to call us by our correct pronunciation, Dwayhe, so we're happy with Dewey. So Dewey it is.
Sounds like my name, Vossi Vidaris. Geez, I struggle with that. A lot of people did as well.
Rabbitohs with a chance. There he is, young Adam on screen, 19 years of age. We wish him well. And Burgess with another run. 9 away from the Manly line. Trebojevic there in defence. That was Jake. Now to the right side. Walker set. He's up. Dewey delivered short there. Crichton. Crunching tackle by Croker. That was outstanding. Terrible ball back for Sam Burgess to pick up. Coruscant and Tapau there. You've got to call it a try-saver from Croker. Outstanding one-on-one. This time Walker delivering to Johnston. The Rabbitohs, I'm not sure this time. Jennings, well, he's got the ball down, but the left arm was outstretched. Hang on.
We have a try on tackle 5. Can you confirm that his hand doesn't touch the touching goal line?
And that's all it is. Does Jennings get the first try? Yes, he does.
Robert Jennings grounds the ball and stays in the field of play. We have a decision.
Very nice play here from the South Sydney Rabbitohs, looking very sharp early. Croker come up with a big tackle on Crichton just before this as we see a try to the Bunnies. First to strike here this evening through this man, Jennings. But the left-hand shift, it was sharp. This was it here. What about the tackle on Croker on Crichton? That close to the line one-on-one. Crichton scores all day of the week. And this work here, going into the line, Dewey, Walker holds it up for Johnson. This pass is a beauty at the front of Jennings. He gets on the outside of Uarte. It was all too late. Nice start to the Bunnies.
With the shellacking of Parramatta last week, the Manly team didn't have to do too much goal line defence on the back of 2 penalties. Shows you how important penalties are in possession. Get in their first test and come up with a 4-pointer.
That was shades of the pre-season form we saw from South Sydney on Fox League, in particular the Charity Shield, where their attack was fairly lethal, left and right, and really looked some well-rehearsed plays. Jennings getting the try, and now over to Adam Dewey with a shot at goal. He was required for this duty 3 times last week. They were all from close range, so this becomes the big test. From right on the touchline, but that is unsuccessful. South Sydney leading Manly by 4 points to 0. Andy Raymond down on the sideline.
And the rain has increased steadily over the last, I guess, 35 minutes. A slight breeze in favour of the Manly Seagulls, who were caught out there. But I think Greg Alexander in the pre-game show hit the nail on the head for mine. The experience and the composure and the wet weather football of Daly Cherry Evans, that man on screen, could well prove the difference.
DCE with the restart of play, yet to touch the ball, Manly. A couple of penalties to the Bunnies, and now the first try as well. And Burgess it is, bringing it back, and you don't often see that. Tapau briefly onto his backside. Some big men up front in this one. Played by Sutton, and now right side for Sam Burgess, running freely. Across there is Joel Thompson. So Brian Kelly into the action. Oh, Crichton's put it down. Fingers pointed skyward as the ball came towards him.
Okay, shot clock's on now, guys.
That was a miscommunication there from the dummy half, Cook. Looked like he was going to go a face ball there. But look, just watch the technique over the coming minutes of Jake Trbojevic. It didn't really come off there, but in this wet weather, you're trying to aim low at the ball. Change to the bottom part of the ball and try and let it spill out. And I think Jake Trbojevic's got the best technique out there to make that happen.
I think Crichton might have been missing his finger there, Bossy. I reckon he
I
catches
didn't want
that.
to say that. You say
I
if
reckon
he
he
had...
catches that if he's got his finger.
That's right. We blame it on the part of the digit that's been amputated. That's a long bow, but there you go. To power with the ball, I'm sure that's what viewers at home were saying, and we've just thought out aloud. To power to plate 18 metres away. This is Trbojevic, Fanua Blake. Even with half a finger, you can't lose your sense of humour. Manly looking for an instant reply here. Croker. It's almost like he's got bandage and eye patch on. He's like a pirate out there, Lachlan Croker. Wearing the 6 for Manly. Coruscant, slow play the ball came up from Thompson. There he is, Croker. Dumping off for Fanua Blake, one of 8 try scorers last week for Manly. And that 9 try tally. And again, South Sydney slow it down a little. Trbojevic there, lined up this time. Croker's kick looked way too hard off the boot. Even though it did have the angle, it'll be a 7-tackle set from the 20.
Yeah, not a good kick there from Lachlan Croker off the boot. It was always going to be long, and it was a great opportunity. Solid first set of 6 in good field position, and the space presented itself. Just too strong off the boot.
He wasn't on the same page as his outside man, was he, Braith?
No.
Akuyawate was back. He wasn't expecting that kick.
Now, Richard Kennar out of dummy half did some good things. In fact, has done good things every time we've seen him this year. Making the most of a starting position in this Rabbitohs side. Now, Cook not caught at dummy half. The assignment for the Manly centres is big. Couple of 21-year-olds in Parker up against Inglis, and Kelly, likewise 21 years of age, against Gagai. They have big assignments today. Crichton taken back. Coruscant and Trbojevic there. A little bit of wet weather footy on show here. Now Burgess. That is Sam. 3 up around the ball there. And that is tackle 5 for South Sydney. Away for the kick, which will bring Tom Trbojevic into the play. And Tom comfortably underneath it. And now Manly get their first penalty.
Front and involved. You're offside, mate.
The moment he became involved, he made it easy for the officials to blow the penalty.
You don't see that too often these days. Tom in front of the kicker, and they just let Manly off the hook. Now they just march on downfield. Every metre in these conditions is precious. Discipline is very important for both sides.
Yeah, on the back of their kicking game, they need to be squeaky clean and make sure they put teams under pressure with their kicking game. And just let Manly off there. It needs to improve.
Parker took the first run from the tap, and now for Jake Trbojevic. Great for Manly that he was able to come straight back for the start of the season after that torn pec at the World Cup. Coruscant thought he'd earned his side a penalty. He has. Well, back-to-back penalties for South Sydney led to their first try. Will it be the same for Manly?
What are you doing, mate?
Tom.
What are you doing?
Just hold the weight.
A battle everyone's looking at is the 2 number 9s. Smart play from Coruscant. 160 metres last week for Cook. He'll be dynamite. He'll get his chance out of there.
Hold here!
No thought of kicking for line, just the safe option tap for Tapau. Now Croker. Fanua Blake. Up came Sam Burgess. He's been stripped of the ball. First knock on against Manly. That was some serious contact out here.
That's a shot. That's inspirational. That's your leader. Leading from the front. What about the whack? On Fanua Blake too. Look at the size of him.
Wow.
He's so tough, Sammy.
That's sensational, that shot.
That head was zeroing in, Big Sammy's.
Get out of the way of that head.
Well, Braith, as you know, at times when it's wet, you can actually play yourself or your team back into some form. Because you've got to keep it simple, you've got to be physical, and that's a start that the South Sydney Rabbitohs have come up with.
I'll say it with apologies to our football fans. It's the beautiful game, rugby league. I mean, that was fantastic. That's beautiful.
It's the best.
Burgess ready to take on a big body in Fanua Blake. So Murray now with it. And Fanua Blake is the defender there. South on the 30. again for Sam Burgess. Coruscant, terrier-like around his legs. Here in the 2014 Grand Final, Cook from inside the 40, but along the deck. Don't mind that. Trebojevic with it. And now ready to try and get on the outside of Gagai. And he's paid a price. Oh, I thought that's unlucky, that. Trebojevic has taken a quick tap.
He's not on the mark.
Oh, well, there you go. The brothers complaining there.
There's an unwritten rule, Vossi, here at ANZ Stadium in the wet. You just don't go anywhere near the sideline. I think he's lucky here. The defence is good from Gagai. Kenner as well. He's still moving. Tough call on the South defence. But Tom should learn from that. Stay away from the sidelines, especially early on in the tackle count.
Fred Hodgson sitting somewhere at home watching this saying, I grounded it in that Gordon Tallis tackle. I was unlucky. That gets replayed every year around Origin time. So Coruscant on to Fanua Blake. And Crichton, there's 4 in there of the Rabbitohs. Little chance of an offload and all of that. Still this rain pouring down. Started probably 5 minutes into Manly's warm-up. Has not ceased. Now 4th tackle, 15 away from the South's line. Rabbitohs with that early advantage. Jake Trebojevic now. And again, numbers in the tackle for the Rabbitohs, and again they slow the play the ball down. Last it is, they're lined up right side. Croker along to Cherry Evans. His kick is a dab, and it's covered up. Look out! Johnston's away! He'll have to pull a hammy to be beaten. Johnston could win the Golden Slipper with that start. Away goes, length of the field. Off a Cherry Evans kick. Alex Johnston, one of the NRL speedsters, scores the try.
Well, when Cherry Evans puts this kick in, it looks like it's going to be a good one. Straight into the space, the chase looks good. Johnston positional, comes across from inside of the post, and he takes off, and he's gone. You can't catch Johnson when he's in open space. Coruscant, valiant effort, but the positional play from Johnston too good.
Look at the pass to Cherry Evans from his half, was behind him. And he had to check himself and come up probably with a different kick that we would like to have come up with. In this wet weather, you have to put the ball, and all times as well, you have to put the ball right out in front. As you said, Voss, he shut the gates with Johnson.
Mind you, there was that game last year where he actually did the hamstring in sprinting for the line as well, but this is South Sydney of last week, that incredibly exciting try they scored against Penrith. Covered fairly much the length of the field. And, well, Dewey kicks this. It becomes 10-0. Last week he got to 14-0. What have they learnt from one week to the next? He is a professional try scorer. Alex Johnston, now 72 for the career, and 4 years in a row South Sydney's leading try scorer. Dewey a little easier this time and adds the 2. So South Sydney 10 to the good of Manly with just under 28 minutes remaining in this first half. And Daly will keep his head down. He doesn't want to see any more replays on the big screen here.
Yeah, well, he slipped over there, Daly, but his outside chasers could have covered the space or shut it off a lot quicker. They didn't even get a hand on him. They weren't even close. He slipped over, but he was nowhere near Johnson.
We haven't seen much middle third attack from Manly, which is their strong point. Changing some angles, changing some directions. I think as this half goes on, they need to start doing that. That's been their strength.
And the Rabbitohs from the restart of play, the Fox League app. You've got to get that. Download it for free from the Google Play Store. And the Fox League app, it will tell you, you would have known going into today, Alex Johnston's record here as Manly with Thompson. And it'll show you this week now, 18 tries his last 8 matches here at ANZ Stadium. Now to power with it for Manly. Yes, there will be turnovers in this game in these conditions. Manly now with Coruscant, back for Croker. And just pushing along. Blake, the South Sydney defence so far inside their own 20 has been very effective. Trebojevic, Croker, and there was a straight runner there. He couldn't pick up Thompson. Again, good defence. Crichton was the defender for South Sydney. This time, Jake Trebojevic. That's tackle 4. Manly in front of the sticks. Coruscant risky. Knocked back, and look at the desperation. Burgess gets to the loose ball. And the Rabbitohs are back with it. This is a side dialed in today.
There's a little bit slow motion there from the Manly team. Players poking their head up, wondering where the ball's going to go to. More than Coruscant. Looked a little bit confused in that set.
Interesting observation that 3 times Manly have been down the business end of the field. Daly Cherry Evans, the predominant playmaker, has basically been standing out the back, allowing Lachlan Croker or Jake Trebojevic to run the side.
Played by Kennard. They thought they had the marker offside again. Gagai with a stumbling run, but still made 10. And 5 tackles for South Sydney. 40 away from the Manly line. South Sydney continued in the crowd vocal. Dewey's kick. That's going to be tricky to take that one. He doesn't want a piece of it. Aku on the wing. He saw that spiralling and turning in the air. And look at the shake of his head now. No way am I going to put a fingertip on that.
Yeah, he wanted nothing to do with that kick from Dewey, and it was their best kick of the game, South Sydney. Torpedo kick into the corner. He wanted Uarte to make a play at it, but he was too smart. But if he got the bounce, it was a risky leave.
RQ, like he is, pretty relaxed, but geez, he was confident that ball was going out. Whenever that ball hits the turf, you don't know where it's going to go. It would have been a difficult catch, a bit difficult assignment for him there.
Well, we saw that Broncos-Cowboys, didn't we? Round 2, try for Tom Opacek. Fortunate bounce for Brisbane on that occasion. So Manly back with the ball. We've had 15 minutes of play and 2 tries to the Rabbitohs. And now Manly get a penalty. Overall possession 62% to South Sydney so far. This Manly side led 30-0 at halftime last week. Parker has it. 25 from the south line. Cherry Evans. Oh, that looked forward to Whenua Blake. Well, all in line with it. I thought the assist... Oh, there's a late call, that.
Very late call.
I wonder if Badger's made that call himself. He looked at his touch judge a couple of times. And that's a forward pass, so got the right result. One thing the South Sydney Rabbitohs had to do is improve their first up contact in their tackles. The first couple of weeks, Anthony Seibold being a defensive coach, would have wanted them to really improve that today, and it has been improved. A lot more physical in their contact.
All heads in, wait, Cody,
Question without notice, Braith, whether there are any pitfalls from your experience when you come off a big win, like what Manly have come off, that, you know, everything was just happening for them last week.
Well, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself. I mean, who knows how Parramatta were and how their form line was, or how much effort or intensity they had on the day. You can't take away from the performance of Manly, but each week it changes. Every team is of a high quality and dangerous in their own right. As Inglis, good to see him get his hands on the ball.
There's no question Souths have focus today. And Cook away. Burgess has been outstanding so far. Tackled by Jake Trebojevic. 31 away. Cook gets them rolling again. This time Thomas Burgess hit and spin. 5 tackles, 20 away. Can Dewey land another one here? Here he is with it. He'll kick out to the other wing this time. He was hit after kicking. The ball was there for the Rabbitohs. And Croker comes up with it. No penalty, no result for Souths, but they are questioning the Manly defence. So away from inside their own 20, Uarte's come in from the right wing for that. South Sydney for their possession and their dominance so far. They probably think they could earn some more points here. Cherry Evans' kick was from inside the 40. Straightens up for Jennings. 22 minutes remain in this first half. South's back with it. And this time for Inglis. Played the 47 minutes last week against Penrith before failing that HIA test. but good to have him back on deck here. Things working well for Souths. No penalty earned there for Sutton. They're making good ground through the middle. Burgess again there. Quick play the ball. Cook then lost it under pressure from Coruscant at marker. And then Manly make a bit of a mess of it as well.
That's just a tackle. Knock on South.
Well, the alarm bell's there, ringing for Manly because Cook was running.
Start the clock.
Just Coruscant did a really good job. He had to go there.
Zig, we're going to go
Force the error from Cook.
I'll come in
He's
on
looking
Manly,
forward to a little
though.
bit more space.
Zig,
It's a big play from Coruscant, Denny. He put a good shot on Sam Burgess, who's been the best player on the field, to start the game just before that. Gets up, gets the marker, realises they're under pressure. Cook's about to run, stops the play and forces an error.
One thing, he's always tuned in, Arpi Coruscant. He's always tuned into what the team needs. Defensively, he's tackling 50 tackles up, but it's his effort to do things like that.
Hold that in.
Terrific player, no question. And now for Kelly, bringing it back to centre field. Manly's Rookie of the Year last season, Kelly. And now to Power with it. That little right foot step as he gets close to the line. He's big enough as it is, but he's quite the handful. Now for Noah Blake. No question, he's an improved player on last year. Adam for Noah Blake. Coruscant, Trebojevic with his brother Tom. Thought he sighted a hole alongside of Crichton there. Last tackle, Manly, is it? Cherry Evans is going to be caught with the ball and stripped of the ball.
let him up.
He's heading home.
But they're getting no results at all at the end of their sets, Manly.
Well, they've been an offloading team all year in 2018. It's not suiting them, not offloading. And obviously, the wet conditions, is they're playing towards that, but they've only had one offload for the whole game here.
Jake together.
Get square, Jake.
Oh. Go, tackle two.
And it's up to Thomas Burgess to
Joel
take
to
the
the
run.
right.
George is down on the sideline warming up to come on. Won't be long. He'll have the head bandage on today. George Burgess. South's on halfway. They've done that easily. Walker.
Off his legs.
And last tackle again. But a very workmanlike set from South Sydney. And Dewey kicks for the corner. Not his best. Taken on the full by Tafua.
If you do, you're tossing that ball up all day. You've got to get that ball as high as you can. Braith, you've been a half and a kicker yourself.
Well, especially in these conditions, Danny, they've got to put it high, test the back three. It's a nightmare when it's raining here at ANZ Stadium. At least make them have to make an attempt.
To power off for Manly. Tanganoa is out there. You'll see him shortly. As more metres made by the hard-working Jake Trebojevic. 11 tackles, 4 runs already for Jake. Now for Tom. He's up to halfway. Last tackle, Manly. Cherry Evans finds the grass, but one bounce into the grasp of Johnston. Now for Jennings. South Sydney back three are fine contributors so far today. Here goes Johnston. And there is a penalty to South Sydney.
10 metres. Knock McCovey marks there.
They are well on top in this one.
Well, you've got to reward Jennings there for that play the ball he gave Johnson. Play one, he found the ground so quick. Perfect play the ball, and Johnson caught him outside.
Inglis on the tap. And certainly if they maintain possession, there's an attacking play at the end of this set. Again, let's see if they get to that point and kick high. Now Burgess, that's George. Explosive first run. At a ground, he scored a great grand final try. Cook offloaded, Walker. 11 from the line. Tackle number 3 for the Rabbitohs. You can sense a third try is in the offering right now. Sam Burgess just walked up into the defence and he winced there at the finish of that tackle. A little slow to his feet. Cook sends the Rabbitohs right side. This time, Dewey loses the ball.
Play kick dead.
20.
Good low tackle. And the turnover was forced.
I like his intent and his thought process at going to the line, straightening up as a half. He looks short. He's seen them slide off and go off to Crichton, so he took them on, but he just got to control the footy in these conditions. So important.
Angus Crichton come up with the wrong play there. He kicked it dead. It should have been a turnover about 3 metres out from the line, but instead of the 20-metre tap.
Good observation, Danny. 100%. Not quite switched on the play. Tanganoa on that run for Manly. Good tackle though, wasn't it? Thompson on Dewey. And then Lane lost it. They will knock on. His first run of the footy.
Look who's in there. It's that man again, big Sam Burgess. He's been so physical. Gets involved, bang.
Oh, he's right at home in these conditions, Braith.
Loves it, doesn't he?
Back to his Bradford Bulls days. Hello to all our viewers over there in the UK.
These days with Dewsbury in the juniors. There would have been some cold mornings, wouldn't there, for junior rugby league back in the day for the Burgess family.
Out. Yours, badge.
You see it all here on Fox League to Super League this morning. Sensational game. If you can catch a replay of Leeds and Castleford, goes right to the death in front of a biggest crowd Leeds have had in the Super League, as Sutton was hit hard, and that is mighty defence there. You're not going to get quickly up after that.
As a result of that tackle, Sean Lane has opened himself up big time over the right eye.
Now Walker. Yeah, Lane, I think the referees will pick that up in a moment. Play will have to stop. South Sydney on halfway. Good worker, Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs. A lock forward. Cook takes off. How quick he is in those first two steps. Tackled by Lane. 30 away. 5 tackles up for South Sydney. And not quite sure what to do there. Walker, he has put it high. Ioane and Tom Trbojevic. Tom has got it.
News down here, Andrew John Sutton has come from the field immediately under the HIA rule in 17. Junior Totola is his replacement.
Right, and that was the tackle of Sean Lane on Sutton, as Andy picked up straight away. Lane is getting treatment out the back now for Manly. They're tending to that cut, so they're one man down in this attacking raid. Tafua. 10-0 scoreline, 14.5 remain first half. From inside the 40, Croker's kick is taken there by Kennar. And back he comes at full force.
They're just
Jerry
winning
Evans' defence.
They're just winning the ruck. The South Sydney Rabbitohs are winning it with the ball and without the ball. They're defending really well, slowing it down with their contact and getting down as fast as they can to play it. Just beat Manly to the punch.
4 metres again for Johnson. Lane is back in the defensive line now. Trainer has done his work. And Rabbitohs back into the grind. Totola there on that run. He's impressed us in his game so far this year. Sam Burgess. Every time he's looking to offload. 5 tackles. South Sydney. Cook's going to run it. Short side on the last. Then chipped by Walker. Tom Trbojevic. Close to the sideline. Had to play it.
How has he stayed in?
Somehow his legs are inside the sideline.
It's going to be a tough set of 6 now on attack for Manly. South got him boxed into a corner.
Jackson Hastings just on.
Oh,
Big Coruscant. Big Jorge, Big George.
Jorge Tafua on Cook. Put him away. That's a massive play by Tom Trbojevic in the corner. South get full set there if he goes over the sideline, and in turn they're kicking on the last to get it inside South's half. Cherry Evans with that job. Skids its way down to Johnston. He's having a stellar afternoon. I don't want to curse him though. And there he is, held by the Manly defence. Hastings on in 14. Also on the tackle, Tanganoa. Now Gagai. So overall stats, South Sydney possession, 59%. They've completed 12 of 16 in the conditions and scored 2 tries. Kennar was elusive. Now for Burgess, that's George. South playing some quite sparkling football. Crichton hard. There are Thompson and Croker. Rabbitohs set up to continue the attack. Murray, they really are set up on the left side. Johnston onto Inglis, takes them on. Oh, tackle. That's a career highlight for Brad Parker. He stopped Inglis 5 metres from the line. Amazing tackle. South Sydney, tap back. Manly lose the ball. Play on the call. And Richard Kenner scores the try. Badger had blown 6 again. And the Rabbitohs have got 3 on the board.
Much better from the South Sydney Rabbitohs with their 5th tackle option. This is a nice left foot kick here from Walker. Crichton bats it back. Kelly knocks it on. Back into Crichton's hand. That was beautiful to Gagai. Pass on to Kenner. What a try for Kenner in the right-hand corner. Kenner started it off with a dummy half run to get the South Sydney Rabbitohs down this end of the field. Crichton, beautiful work again.
Well, that's the second time we've seen South Sydney get on the ball first. Down here on the 20-metre zone. Sammy Burgess did the same. Now Angus Crichton's just done that for his team. So it's a sign of desperation. Shows you where they're at. And Kenner, again, he does well-deserved try.
Well, it's a sign of urgency, Denny. And, you know, we talk about it within rugby league circles, the 1%ers. You know, those little bounce, jump on the ball when it's loose on the ground. Come up with your teammates, pull off a big shot, lead by example. Just those little plays that probably go unnoticed by fans, don't by the players, and you can tell they've just turned up with a real commitment today to try and get this victory any way possible.
Keep in mind, Manly fans, if you're a little worried at the moment, South Sydney did lead Penrith 14-0 last week and were run down. Didn't have a whole lot of football in them in the second half last week. Dewey will kick for 16-0. Still 10 minutes remain this first half. This is the NRL. 54-0 winners 1 week, 30-0 they led at half-time. Now trail 14-0 against a team that hasn't won. That's a perfect rugby league form line in 2018. Dewey's kick. He needs it. Oh, he hits the outside of the post. He's 1 from 3 and 14-0.
And you talk about form lines. You see Manly struggling here against South Sydney. We've got Parramatta coming up next. How are they going to turn up today?
Well, what would South beat Parramatta by? Based on the scores. There's Dewey's kick. He would have thought that was going to slide in. By the way, your Sunday lineup right here on Fox League tomorrow. Gold Coast against St George Illawarra. We're on the road for that one in Toowoomba. And our Sunday ticket coverage will start at 3:30. Ash Taylor is back for the Titans. Unbeaten Dragons. And then Roosters and Newcastle tomorrow night from 6 o'clock. Mitchell Pearce against his old club. Oh, what a duel that will be. Then into Sunday night with Matty Johns. Great afternoon and night of rugby league right here on Fox. South Sydney 3 tries on the board in this one. And across for Crichton. This is the best I've seen of Angus so far this year. I thought he was quiet the first 2 matches. Burgess on this run. Manly being forced to work hard in defence. And they've got a penalty against the man playing the ball.
No balance there, mate. You just completely fallen over.
There you go. No attention to detail, paraphrasing Gavin Badger there.
Did you get him for moving off the mark, or...?
He said he didn't have balance.
Incorrect play the ball.
That is it.
What a turning point this could be.
Completions after points. Something that's really stressed from all teams. Unsuccessful to do that.
3 times South haven't been able to do it, Betsy. 3 times now they've come up with errors after points.
For what it's worth, I support Badger on that call against Burgess. We watch the replay. Thompson with the ball for Manly. 15 away from the South Sydney line. Now for Hastings. And Croker plays it tight on the inside. Tanganoa with the ball. Former Cowboy, former Eel. 9 away. This is Hastings. Trebojevic, dummies, or Jake looked up just for a moment.
Numbers left here.
Cherry Evans has drifted around that side. He's got the call. Croker has it. Cherry Evans. Back infield he comes. Daly Cherry Evans in slow motion. Links up there with Sirinen. Hasn't had too many touches in the game so far. Curtis. Last tackle, Manly. Jake Trebojevic. Out the back, it's Tom with a kick. Straight into the breadbasket of Adam Dewey. And the Lebanese international is being chased by Cherry Evans. He was away. Adam Dewey, South Sydney, 40 away from the Manly line. Crichton has had the ball knocked out, scooped up by Johnston. Play on the call. Rabbitohs with Walker. Johnston over the top. It's still on now. And Jennings is wrapped up. That is only the second tackle. 11 metres away from the line. And Inglis, one hand out, ready to take on 3 defenders. Jennings. And Walker, Cook centre field. Plenty of green and red on his outside. He goes inside. Totola is tackled. Manly all but on the rack here. To Walker again. They overrun the play. Touch football about this, bringing the defenders off the line. And that is tackle 5. Well, they've done incredibly well to hang on Manly in this set, as the little stab by Doohy is covered up by Tom Trbojevic. They got out of jail, Manly.
That's a shame for Dewey. He needed to find the in goal there. Keep forcing the pressure on.
They've made 29 more tackles than Manly Warringah Seagulls, almost 5 complete sets, and judging by their body language, it certainly looks like it. They look fatigued. Whether it's a hangover from the heat last Sunday, a tough week of training, or just a lack of possession, they look done.
It's their execution too. As we see Dewey here, we talk about execution in attack. That kick there from Trbojevic to Dewey was a poor one, straight into the breadbasket, but also their passes. Their passes have been behind Cherry Evans, behind Croker. Their key playmakers have to stop before moving forward.
It just stunts your whole attack. It needs to improve, and you'll see some better options taken.
14-0. Cherry Evans, switch of play. Croker, Tom Trbojevic. They tried to open up a little freeway down the centre. Croker, Cherry Evans, nice hands. Now for Kelly, nice stepping. And then a nice spin as well. It's all nice from Manly there. 15 from the south line. Then quickly for Hastings. Across for Croker. And inside this time for Big Lane. Last tackle, Manly still chasing their first points. Cherry Evans, Tom has floated it over the top. Jorge Tafua with the ball, still the last tackle. The kick is a bludger from Thompson, and South Sydney have got the ball. Rabbitohs with some more goal line defence.
That was a better set from the Manly Seagulls, though. The way they went through the ruck, different angles, changing them in these wet conditions. Just can't come up with that better end of set.
Manly's had 15 tackles inside South's 20. Souths have had 11 inside Manly's zone. In that statistic area. Now for Sam Burgess. His numbers in this first half as he gets that offload. 9 tackles, 10 runs, another offload. Dewey this time. One more pass might have had them away. Crichton was the offloader. Last tackle, Cook on the run down the right-hand side. Walker, then Gagai, and then Kinner was taken over the sideline.
Great read there from George Tafua. Pressure down his edge. Little raid from the South Sydney Rabbitohs down the right-hand side. Walker goes into the line, throws the pass to Gagai. Gagai throws the pass to Kenner. George was ready for it.
Great wing play from George. Showed him the sideline at will. Never going to get around him there. So physical.
He's one play, you just don't want to run it, George.
The highlights reel of George Tafua, if he went through the career, was a try in the grand final here in 2013. Manly just outside their 30. And Sean Lane with it. And Manly have their entire starting front row on the bench at the moment. Croker with the ball, they're lined up left, tipped on by Tom Trbojevic, on to Kelly with support to Tafua now. He's inside the 30, look at the flying Trbojevic with the ball. That is Turbo Tom, the quintessential example there. Now quickly along, Sirenin lost his footing. Badger had played advantage, South Sydney offside. But what about Tom Trbojevic with top gear found very quickly.
Poetry in motion.
Line here, please.
How good did he look?
Wait, Jackson, he's in front of you. Thank you.
Gliding it through the ruck of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The tip on to start it was brilliant.
Jake Trbojevic now. And now you sense Manly might get their first try. Almost right on half-time. There's 2.5 to go. South's 14-0. They've been dominant. Tanganoa's got a problem here for Manly.
Tackle 2, and it is...
Kalepi can play the ball, tackle 2.
Kalepi Tanganoa injured there. No movement on the Manly bench. They'll wait for a report on his problem.
Beautiful pass. The tip on from Trebojevic created the space here for Kelly. Kelly knows he needs to throw the pass. Tafua can tell that Trebojevic is backing up through the middle. It's a good tackle in the end from Johnson. He's had a big afternoon.
Well, they've got the HIA card out ready for Tanganoa. But it looks no more than a finger in the eye. Can you get that as a HIA test when you got a finger in the eye, Braith? I mean...
No, I would say no. Eye drops are probably a better option.
John Sutton's passed his HIA, ready to go.
All right, the South Sydney veteran. So Tanganoa will play it. It's given the South Sydney goal line defence a decent break there. So 2 minutes and a bit remaining in this first half. Cherry Evans, Fanua Blake on. He's come on for Sean Lane. 3 metres away. But again, South Sydney slow to play the ball down. They won't want to give away a penalty, though, and risk sin bin close to the line. Tom Trbojevic. Well, Kennar made a decision to play the man, Kelly, who made a decision to let the ball go.
Up square now, Cameron! Hold! Hold!
Tafua plays it slowly, 14 metres away. Jake Trbojevic marches up to within 5 of the line again. But still, the South Sydney defence resolute, doing the job. Last tackle, Cherry Evans, and then kick. Again, it's been covered up by South Sydney. They can't get it through the wall, the Manly kickers.
Well, they can't. And it was only a week ago they score over 50 points. And it feels like a lifetime now to probably the fans and the players on the field. All that confidence all of a sudden gone in this first half. No points on the board, 14 against. South containing them at ease at the moment.
And the rain has stopped here, and over the eastern side there's a rainbow. The words of Benny Elias, who can find the carrot at the end of that rainbow. South Sydney take this one over the sideline.
Please explain.
Well, that was one of his great commentary lines.
Okay.
In rugby league, you're searching for that carrot at the end of the rainbow. Thank you, Benny. One of the great men.
I'd rather gold.
Probably. To carry on with the Benny theme, if the scores are a little closer, it'd be a battle of nutrition and players going off injured. They were great times, and to have him on Controversy Corner on the Rugby League wrap as well.
I love watching
I love Benny. He was, and back in the day as a young reporter, he was great for a quote.
Ball in.
A scrambled quote, but quote all the same. Now the ball with Sirinen. So if they got a trick shot coming up to half-time, maybe not. Fanua Blake. South will be feeling good about themselves, but again, temper that. 14-0 last week against Penrith. Cherry Evans now, almost Shepherd. Out it comes for Parker. And that will be the final play of the first half. And that is rugby league as we tried to explain in the first half. One team wins 54-0 one week, comes up a team against a team without a win, and the team without a win now leads 14-0. Super Saturday right here on Fox League. Souths 14, Manly 0. So second half underway here at ANZ Stadium. South Sydney against Manly. We've had Canterbury break their duck this. Whoa, Manly, what a start to the second half. Adam Fanua Blake. Braithen Astor said in the first half, at ANZ, you go nowhere near that sideline. He may be one of the biggest players of the Manly side, yet he was still manhandled over the touchline.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how big or strong you are here at ANZ Stadium, especially in wet conditions. It is very slippery towards the sidelines. You see it at origin level, you see it at all levels here. You just got to stay away from it. And to start Manly off in the second half, just when we thought they might not come back into the game, they've got a real opportunity here to Bunnies.
Yeah, what a chance, a minute into the second half. And Burgess standing off the scrum. If 14-0 could quickly become 20. What a mountain to climb for Manly. As a Cody Walker brings Johnston in on that left side. And again, the defence of Parker on show. It all happened very quickly the first half. But what a tackle he produced on Greg Inglis. Now back for Cook. And inside for Totola. Now they've got an opportunity to come over right side towards Gagai as they work left. Sutton runs hard there at Hastings and Trebojevic. That's 4 for South Sydney. Here they are, plenty of bodies in motion. Dewey shot to Burgess. It'll be hard to stop. He rolls his way towards the goal line. And somehow, Croker hanging on for dear life. To wonder he wasn't trampled. Dewey's kick, Trebojevic lost it. Cherry Evans, what a saviour he was there.
Well, what about that start from the Manly Seagulls to the second half? They defended their goal line. They really need to get this kick out here to start this second half the way they should have in the start of that first set.
Good run there from Parker.
Vossi, it's a 17-on-16 game. Sean Lane did not pass his HIA. He won't be back, so the Eagles down to an interchange rotation of just 3.
Okay, Thompson with that one for Manly. And now Hastings back to Cherry Evans. No kick easy in the slippery conditions. Long ball there from Kennard to Johnston. Oh, he felt a bit of that. Jake Trebojevic today, 20 tackles, leads the count for Manly.
It's his kick chase, Vossi, as well. So many kicks. He's just chased that ball down there and just locks the middle up. So important to this team.
Ball out the back to no one there. Jennings with it. Good recovery. Robert Jennings, better than good, makes 20 metres. Now 40 away, and the tackle count has restarted. Totola. Got some big boys off the bench. Nichols, Burgess, Totola. Haven't seen Nichols today. Well, he had 17 minutes last week against Penrith as well. Johnston, his touches today have been golden for South Sydney. 12 away from the line. And this time across with Cook. As quick as any half in the game, Damien Cook. 12 away. Hastings was the defender. Thomas Burgess from close range. Adam Fanua-Blake there with Hastings. Quick play the ball for Cook. Dewey's got an opportunity to score. He'll almost get the in goal. He got a glimpse of it. And pushed back on tackle number 5. Gagai, Cook, then a spiral pass across to Walker. Kept going along for Sutton. Then for Inglis, kept alive for Walker. Left foot kick, gets as far as the goal line. Dom Trebojevic with it for Manly. They've hung on in another set.
Yeah, they ran into a dead end there, South, when they spread the ball over that left-hand side. Again, Parker defending well up against Greg Inglis. But Andy Raymond interviewed Seabold. There's an error here, an error. Pressure on the Manly Seagulls. Uarte comes up with an error in the play the ball. And Andy Raymond interviewed Seabold at half-time, and he said the job's only half done, obviously. And you can tell by the intent and the effort of the South Sydney Rabbitohs to start this second half that is their belief.
After not scoring a point last week, South Sydney in the second half, I'm sure we've been spoken about it. The only thing that can change is themselves and the attitude. It's a choice. It's a choice they're not willing to make today. They're going to make sure they go on with this game and with the best attitude they can and get the victory.
Conditions vastly different to what they experienced last week against Penrith. So they're going to keep playing some football. Totola backing his way towards the upright. Thompson and Hastings hang on for Manly. Cook with it. They stand deep. Dewey straightens them up. Walker. Johnston with the ball. Souths have got another.
Yes, I am.
It is Jennings scoring. He scored the first in the match. He scores the first of the second half. And the Rabbitohs are 18-0 in front.
Well, it's deja vu. This left-hand side, you said it, Vossi, their first try was Jennings and it was a pass from Johnston. And again, they repeat that in fine fashion. Dewey goes right into the line, Walker's out the back, he passes it out to Johnston. The cutout pass is fast, it's slick, it's precise, and Jennings, he finishes it off.
Just watch Cherry Evans, he can't get off that lead runner, and Sutton couldn't push on. Everyone has to come in, and just summed up so well there, the cutout ball. And these outside backs of South Sydney done a really good job all day. It's just reward.
Second double in the career of Robert Jennings. Well adrift of his famous brother Michael, who was one of the 100 try plus men in the NRL, but both wingers have been good in pre-season, now into the NRL season proper. Kennar and Jennings. Makes it quite a dilemma.
If there's anywhere South Sydney have been a little skinny over the years, it's their outside backs, and you mentioned it. Jennings, Kennar have been brilliant. Add to that Gagai and Inglis, which we haven't seen the best out of, but so much potential, and they will grow as the season goes on. And that's why I think everyone held such high expectations of the Bunnies this year. If their forwards can get it right through the middle of the ruck, they have so much firepower out wide.
Yeah, the physicality stakes when they play like this. As I said, you just give the outside back so much room, and don't forget you got Adam Reynolds to come back, and he's doing a really good job, but he just adds that polish to the end of their sets, Adam Reynolds. So they're looking forward to getting him back.
7 minutes into the second half, and like his first kick of the day, he hooks it to the left. 18-0 scoreline, 4 tries to zip to South Sydney. First match of the doubleheader from ANZ Stadium. The Eels are getting ready, so too the Sharks. And we'll have that for you straight after this one, live on Fox League. Paul Gallen will play. He was in, and he was out, and he was in. What we do know, Matt Moylan is out. Both those sides chasing their first win of the year, as South Sydney are doing at the moment. Rabbitohs, I seem to remember in commentary last week asking the question, how many points? What's a winning score for them? And it was agreed they had to score once more. Is it the same here? 18-0. When you're coming off a win or coming off a loss where you're led by 14, you don't feel safe even at 18-0?
I think 18-0 is not enough in the modern game with the players and the skill factor that they've got in their teams, and they're looking forward to get some more points next time they're down there, really driving home. But they're driving home their physicality, and the way they started this second half is just a really good attitude. So Manly don't look it in at the moment.
Well, they haven't made an error this second half. They've been faultless.
Now Dewey's kick. He's found the grass that time, and no risk taken by Tom Trbojevic. There's control from South Sydney with a 19-year-old wearing the halfback jersey.
That's the kick. That's the kick, Dewey. It's a really good play from him, and the coach will be really happy with that, and his team, especially the forwards. They can get a rest here. You can pump his forwards up and give them another big physical set down here and see if they can force another error.
Yeah, just Manly need to get into the game in this second half, hoping, and it is only hope, one score will lead to a second. But nothing at all to write home about since half-time from the very first carry where they went over the sideline. Now to Fua.
Damien, release!
15 away from the Manly line. And Trbojevic. Statisticians been kept busy. They're already searching the books for teams that have won by 50 one week and then haven't scored the next. Now Sirinen over the 30-metre line for Manly. Hastings, short side range. Cherry Evans looks lively. He's close to the sideline as well. Sutton and Jennings there for the Bunnies. Hastings and Croker centre ground then for Fanua Blake. They've handled him well, South Sydney. And again there, the three men, Totola, Cook, Crichton. Last tackle, Manly, Hastings, Cherry Evans. Kicking from 38 metres out. A little bit of wobble on that kick, and that is a diving take by Jennings. Got up, heard the caller play on, and then is ironed out by Parker.
Parker's had a bit of a workout today. Come up with another good defence tackle there, but him and Inglis have gone at it. He's had that big palm in his face a few times, but defensively he's been really good today, Parker.
Ends up a pretty big play from Jennings, doesn't it? South Sydney with the ball.
That was a strong carry from Kenner too, from the right wing. Gets involved, makes 20 metres.
The Rabbitohs 10 metres inside their own half. This is Big Burgess of the Thomas kind. On tackle 5. Dewey is the kicker again, growing in confidence. Got a lot on it. Tom Trbojevic across to it. He's had some blinding touches, but they need more. What about that tackle? Look who it is, Sam Burgess on Tom Trbojevic. Now Tafua. Sam Burgess has led from the front today. There is real quality in his work. To power with it for Manly. Back to the 30 he goes. To Jake Trbojevic. Thomas, Burgess and Cook there. Off they go. He wasn't at square at marker. Penalty for Manly.
There's a lot of one-out running from Manly. That's one thing they can do is improve their support play, especially from their halves. Push around, and I know that constantly made a fact that they're going to offload today, but still going to pass short. Got to push with blokes like Jake Trbojevic.
See that stat on screen, the run meters. South's up over 1,100, Manly just over 700. And that's despite the fact they've had the aid of an 8-3 penalty count, Manly. Hasn't been too many away teams that have won penalty counts this year. Trbojevic and Croker. Now Tom. On it comes for Kelly. South Sydney's outside defence communicating well. On their 10-metre line. Now Tom Trbojevic. Hastings, Show, and across to Croker. That time Burgess missed him. Croker almost through to within 5 of the line on tackle 4. Hastings with a dummy. It's an easy one. It's a soft one, which we did not see coming. But Jackson Hastings has scored for Manly. They have their first points. It has taken 53 minutes.
Oh, that was well and truly bought by the middlemen there of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. He's nearly 5 metres in goal there, actually, when he puts his ball down. Jeez, a big show and go, and Johnson, Burgess, caught ball watching there. Need to talk him up. Those little sneaky halves.
Well, sometimes when there's a lot of focus on key players like Cherry Evans, like Croker, even Coruscant, they look away from a man like Jackson Hastings. He can get away with a little play out of dummy half. Takes the focus off those key playmakers, gives Manly Seagulls another option out of dummy half. And a really effective one right there.
Some are already calling it the year of the comeback. We've had the biggest is by 18. Titans round 1.
And we saw it down in Canberra at GIO this afternoon as well.
We're certainly not going to sell this game short. 18 points to 6. Manly behind against the Rabbitohs. Andy Raymond sideline.
Interesting watching Jackson Hastings here, a young superstar. As a kid, he was a freak. Came through the St George Illawarra system, then spent a couple of years at the Roosters. He played predominantly 1, 6 and 7, but I remember Trent Robinson saying a few years ago, I think he's going to end up a 9 as he fills out and as he matures. Nice little bit of eyes-up football playing in that very position.
One thing he has done, Andy, he has filled out. He's thickened up, especially through the legs. Good power base there now and maturing into his body.
Happens to most hookers, Betsy.
On my bandy legs, there wasn't much power there.
Powell running back from the restart for Manly. All right, 1 score on the board. Can they turn it into 2, just like Penrith did? And if you think back to last week, the match-winning try, it came up in the last 5 minutes. Tyrone Peachy was a super sub. Manly got one. Lord Perrott, he's the only fresh man on the bench as Parker's almost away. Perrott was a try scorer last week, though. Last tackle, or not last tackle, 4th tackle for Manly and Sirinen. Pretty big set to follow their first try. Hastings. It's like an injection of enthusiasm and energy for Manly now. Across for Thompson. And he is held up. That is tackle 5. Hastings on to Cherry Evans to kick back to... Oh! Tom Trbojevic, I thought he had it. He's got long legs and long arms, but just not longer arms enough, if you know what I mean.
It was a set piece there. Dally Cherry Evans looking for Tom Trbojevic back on the inside. Gagai drifting across field now, as we can see. But what about the positional play again from Alex Johnston? It's been superb so far this afternoon. He ran the length of the field off a kick earlier from Cherry Evans, and on that occasion, he was Johnny on the spot, and didn't they need him?
So close for Tom Trbojevic. Sutton is held on halfway for South Sydney. Plenty of time left in this one. 25 to go. Crichton now. Tackle 5 for South. Good recovery set for them. And Dewey kicking from 30 away. Tom Trbojevic chasing through. Tom's lost it. Straight into the grasp of Kennard to score. The two South Sydney wingers having a field day. First impression, there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a try. Tackle 0. Want to see if the first knock-on's from Manly and if South Sydney take a clean possession into grounding.
If you take a look at this here.
We've cleared South Sydney's kick chase.
He jumps too early.
Tackled in the air.
I think it's fine. I think Tom just knocks the ball on here. It's simultaneous. You can see there, Dewey makes the tackle as Tom's left foot is touching the surface. It falls into Kenner's hands. He drops it before Dewey even makes contact with him.
Then hits the head of Kenner and contacts Manly, but that's not a knock-on.
On-field decision is a try.
Tom Trbojevic knocks the ball on. It then comes off Richard Kenner's head.
The problem will be if Kenner...
That's fine.
Force the ball into his teammate, but I don't think that's the case.
He's then regained possession cleanly. And grounds the ball. We have a decision going. Thank you.
Oh, hello. The General's pulled back the old line there. We have a decision going to the board. They don't say that anymore. He's bailed out halfway. It's another try to South Sydney. The two wingers have got doubles today, Kenner and Jennings.
Yeah, be disappointed with that, Tom. You saw as he's coming down, the ball's actually just starting to get into his grasp. Should be going up.
Kenner's had a big night. 2 tries, 7 runs, 92 metres. He's been starting their sets off so well out of their own end, but also his finishes. That was brilliant. It was a good kick chase. The kick was a good run from Dewey. In the first half, the kicking game wasn't so good, but the second half has been much improved.
What's obvious today, guys, is probably you're seeing more South jerseys in the picture, aren't you? Wherever the ball is, you see a lot more red and green jerseys in that picture compared to the Manly ones. And when that happens, you come up with a bit of luck.
Let's see if he can kick one, Vossi.
Yeah, and right now it's a 70-point swing from winning by 54 one week to trailing by 16 the next. This is all some of the information you can get on the Fox League app. You can download it for free. All the news, all the stats, every hour of the day. Dewey's got his second goal today. The lead again is 18 points, and that Fox League app, it comes in very handy. The boys are on it not long before kick-off again here today, and you can do that at home as well. 24-6, South Sydney over Manly, 23.5 to go. Cronulla and Parramatta coming up straight after this one on a massive Super Saturday here on Fox League.
Heck, it's a doubleheader. Sit at home, nothing better.
Some big matches here. Easter Monday too, Monday week. Parramatta and the Tigers always draws well. Another game that you'll be able to watch here on Fox League, but if you're out at the show, you can walk across and watch some NRL as well. Inglis with it for Souths. So South Sydney coming into today had won 5 of the last 8 against Manly, and now Murray's away. Look at Cameron Murray go. He is a good young player, Cameron Murray. Cook up. Dewey now. Full of confidence, South Sydney. They're 10 from the Manly line. They can smell blood in the water here. And Murray with it again. He's almost exhausted after the last run. 9 from the line. 5 tackles up. Slow play the ball. Cook for Dewey. Then for Walker, his kick. And Uate's there for Manly. They stay in the contest, but only just.
What a bust from Cam Murray. Just watch the way he catches this ball off his chest and has it out in 2 hands. Goes to defensive line, puts it, and then tucks it.
Got a head clash here, guys.
He's just an athlete, this guy. Young,
care on these things.
enthusiastic. Everything that this South Sydney team wants to represent.
You had him in the New South Wales under-20s last year, and he impressed you as much as anyone.
Yeah, he's an out-and-out leader. Made him the captain pretty early there. He speaks well, and he's one of those players that when he does decide to have a chat, everyone sort of listens, and that's a sign of someone. And then he backs it up with his actions. So for a big career here at the Bunnies.
Poor old Mark Nichols. He's been on for a minute, and he's collided with Burgess's head, George's head. Been waiting all day to get on.
Thumbs up.
There you go. Must have a head like a wrecking ball. Be able to withstand that.
Go.
Where did he have to go? He punched through, just dived at their knees and got through. I don't know how. He's done well, Parker.
Up square.
So Defoe to play it 10 out from the line. A lot of work to do for Manly. And Fanua Blake, with another run for him. He's had 15 hit-ups today for the Seagulls. To Powell. Last it is for Manly. Not a whole lot doing for them. Cherry Evans is going to run. And is caught by Burgess. Georgie boy. He was going to take Daly's jersey and put it on eBay. What a tackle.
That's what you call a sack in the NFL. Got out there. The athleticism of George there is on display.
He just manhandled him. Little Daly goes down the short side. Collared.
Very much so. 21 minutes to go. South Sydney playing some good football. And here they go again. Johnston, Gagai, caught by Fanua Blake. Got a shift to the right. They're ready to go shift back to the left. Try and extend this Manly defence. George Burgess. Can Thomas or George break long try-scoring droughts today? Dewey inside for Murray again. Taken that time by Tom Trbojevic. Right on the goal line. Last tackle, South Sydney. Dewey's going to try the short kick, and Tom Trbojevic takes it dead. South Sydney doing everything right at the moment.
Well, they're in full control of this match now, and Dewey plays a big part in that. Here it is here. Look at this from Burgess. Just collars him. Where are you going, son? Come back here. Cherry Evans gets manhandled by Burgess. And off the back of that, a solid set. And Dewey with a beautiful kick. Their 5th tackle options, we've said it a few times now, their 5th tackle options so far in this second half have been of the highest quality.
He's had a big week, Dewey. He's gone and looked at a lot of tape, I'm sure, and worked out how he could have been better from last week. I'm really happy for him because he learned some lessons last week. He's come out here and put them on display in a good way.
Nichols back from the line dropout. Perrott is out there for Manly, the last of the bench players for the Seagulls. Again with Burgess. South Sydney, Hymel Hunt is still on the bench. Sat on the bench for the whole 80 back in round 1 over in Perth. Johnston away to Inglis. Inglis away to Jennings. Oh, the Jennings family will be proud today. Robert is putting his name up in lights. A hat-trick for South Sydney. Well done.
3 tries to Jennings, and again it's that left-hand side for the Rabbitohs. It's been lethal. Now they're short passing. Dewey to Walker. Johnson normally throws the cutout pass, has done 2 times before this. but this time he goes through the hands. He gives it to Inglis. It's a 2-on-1 on the edge. Sums up the situation well, does Greg Inglis, and Jennings has been perfect in finishing.
Well, both wingers have come up with a bag of try here for South Sydney, but have a look at the right edge of Manly, just backing off there. When you start backing off in that situation, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be trying the corner. As soon as someone gets caught up inside, you have to jam.
That's a big game there. 3 tries, 17 runs, 148 metres. What a night out for Jennings.
In the pre-game predictions, we had come up here with Fox, said that Tafua would bag a double, but how wrong I was. The wingers for the South Sydney team are a real day out here.
Yeah, well, we know that on a day where Jennings got his first double, it was actually 2 games slower than his brother Michael had managed to score his first double. We're now just trying to check, has he beaten Michael for first hat-trick in the career? Unbelievable. It's actually the same game.
Wow.
21st game, they both recorded hat-tricks. If only we'd known that pre-game with your prediction, you would have brushed your Tafua prediction and said, I'll tell you what, I've got a stat on Robert Jennings.
Old hindsight.
So for 30 points to 6, and now Dewey's correcting everything. He's missed 2 from the left touchline. That time he nails it. This is a big day for a 19-year-old, a big day for that man, Robert Jennings, and a big day for Anthony Seibold. That man gets his first win. You've got to declare it. I know it's 17.5. Am I going off early? But you'd have to think he's going to get his first win in the NRL.
I think you're pretty safe, Fossey, and even before coming here, the first 2 rounds of 2018, they've showed a lot of promise to South Sydney Rabbitohs. They haven't got the victories in either game, but at the same time, you could tell if they put it all together, they weren't far away. They're showing us now why. They're showing us how good they can be and the potential they do have as a side.
Burgess, well,
Jake,
don't go anywhere.
What technique.
Jake Trbojevic and Perrott combining there on George Burgess. Now Walker for Souths.
All the purists out there, that is how you tackle.
Now the point swing is up to 78 points from 1 week to the next against Manly. Nichols with the ball for Souths. He's been caught between 3 defenders there. Cook. I think South Sydney, they're going to keep playing some football here. Lost and forced by Walker. Cook a little perplexed about all of that. Second error he's had in the game.
Just tucked it and comes in the wet weather. Really protect the football. But I think they can have some fun here, South Sydney. They're well and truly on top in every asset of the game.
You're the former hooker, Danny. Barring injury, how does Robbie Farah get back into the 17? I just don't think South Sydney will stray from that one hooker strategy, really, on what Cook is doing.
Yeah, it'd be a tough one for Robbie. He's just biding his time, and it's about opportunity. And it does arise. You've got to take it, and he's experienced enough to know that. But he finds himself in an unfamiliar position that he's not used to, so it'll be very frustrating for him.
Watching from the coach's box, Robbie Farah, alongside the injured Adam Reynolds. And now Perrott for Manly. Nice offload. Coruscant in support. Jake Trbojevic.
George, release the ball.
It's only the 5th offload, Manly, for the match, which is, you've got that by half-time in the first 2 rounds of the competition.
Oh, great stuff. Dane Gagai
Dane, get up square.
stops Tom Trbojevic in his tracks. Manly 25 from the line. Another run for Perrott. He's again looking to offload. Still looking to offload, and Murray did the job over the top. Murray 26 tackles. Cherry Evans bomb out towards the wing of Jennings. Doesn't reach him. Uarte and Parker combine. Croker's going to get a second kick. Puts it back towards the post.
Zig, they're coming, Zig.
And it's caught on the full. Coruscant want to be careful. He could have been sin binned. The flying tap of Kennar.
Get up.
And Cherry Evans makes the tackle.
The pass option there for Cody Walker was on. The effort to push with him. He was in the clear. It's always a good play. Good tactic, that one.
So Sam Burgess running back on. 19 tackles, 14 runs, couple of offloads for Sam today. Rabbitohs in control, up by 24. Nichols will offload, Cook back with it. South Sydney, second phase football. Crichton now strides through the tackle of Thompson. 11 metres away, and the South fans are excited again. Gagai and Cook, and right across for Walker. Linking back up with Sutton. Then for Cook. Daring the defence to come at him.
Manly looking vulnerable here.
Could Jennings get 4 in this one? Out on the left wing. Burgess with a run this time. Put on his back by Jake Trebojevic. Last tackle, Cook. They come to the right side. Little kick, fielded by Cherry Evans. And then was he stripped of the ball? No, he wasn't. Was able to pass back to Coruscant. Where there is life, there is hope. But it's going to take some sort of miracle for Manly. By Tafur, and now Uate. Some fair applause on the sideline from the Rabbitohs fans for George Burgess, who's come off. That was a pretty dynamic stint from George.
They've been good, the Twins, tonight. The last couple of weeks, there's been some errors in their game, and I'm sure that was the main aim today. No errors from both of them.
Long searching kick as Jennings bringing it back. So South Sydney inside their 30. I still think they're pretty keen for more points and really make a statement here today that they are terribly disappointed with last week squandering that lead.
From the get-go, they've showed intent so far this afternoon. From the second, from the first run, from the first opportunity. Oh, I've jinxed him. Look at him. He can't believe it. He's come up with his first error. Sammy's been so good tonight. But as a team, and I said it earlier, that win at all cost attitude, well, there's a hand in there from Jake.
Sam. Well, you got to ride it all when you're a first-grade coach.
What's happened to Manly, Denny? What do you put it down to? I mean, it's a massive deficit turnaround. 54 points one week. They can see 30 this week, and they've only scored 6.
Yeah, the mindset is so important, isn't it, Wraith? An attitude in every area. You just can't be caught short. As you know, in the NRL, you get picked apart. And that's what's happened out here today. And I think the Monday to Friday, what's happened at training, that's only something the coaches can answer. But I'm sure they'll dust themselves off and readjust that focus. Come back bigger and stronger next week.
And now Croker on to Cherry Evans. Kicks and turns Kennar around, and Kennar puts the ball well over the dead ball line. Last week, focus was on the Parramatta warm-up in the heat. People saying they got that all wrong. What about tonight? The Manly side warmed up for half an hour out in the pouring rain, got soaked, while South Sydney did their warm-up inside. I want to throw that into the mix.
There's a lot of ways you can look at games and try and dissect teams and why it worked and why it didn't work. I just think the want and the desire from South Sydney tonight has been far and above that of the Manly Seagulls. Likewise last week with Manly and Para, similar situation. The want and the desire, you could see it in the eyes of Manly last week. It is not there this week.
We saw the Cronulla players in confined quarters for their warm-up in the dressing room. Parramatta and Cronulla next, right here on Fox League, live on this Saturday night. And perhaps we've seen the last of the rain. Don't hold me to that. Manly 15 from the line, and Croker out in front. Oh, tackle on Thompson. Only just Gagai and Crichton, 4 metres from the line. Coruscant putting it up there for Perrott to have a crack. South Sydney defend their goal line, trying to keep Manly to 6.
A big tackle out the right edge here from Dane Gagai. On Tom.
Hold the line. Wait for a touch.
On Big Thompson. Really nice ball, nice shape. Come with a really big play. They'd love to keep the only to 6 points here in this match.
Now to Powell with it.
Up now, Sam, no more.
Well, Hunt did get on for South Sydney, so all the bench players getting football tonight. And again, South Sydney's defence on the edge on Perrott there. You know, big body, able to offload, but they lock up the ball. Now they concede another penalty. The next one might be Sinbin.
They've been a lot more aggressive on their edges from last week, South. They were backing off a lot, but you can see it's a real mindset to get up and jam in and be real aggressive on their edges.
Jake Trbojevic takes the first. We're inside the final 10 minutes here. Coruscant, Croker, certainly had a lot of touches. Lachlan Croker, a rookie. Tapau dumps it back. Coruscant, Cherry Evans. Manly still looking for a hole. That time caught by Walker and Hunt.
Does Cody know? Cody know.
9.5 to go. There's a third penalty in a row to Manly.
Cody go. It's okay. No, please.
He's got to clear the way. He's forced my hand there.
Keep going, Dad.
Quick tap by Coruscant. Manly will keep coming with Perrott. Another offload. Coruscant, Croker. And Croker is taken down by the defence of Crichton. Right on the goal line again. Jake Trbojevic will try and power his way over. And he's managed to get to the in goal, and Burgess comes away with a ball. Look at Sam on the gallop. Offloads. Then there's Gagai. They may still go back and check it. I think we will go back to the bunker.
Hold it there.
Yeah, leave it there. You're Dane Gagai up here. Just wait. Time's off.
General.
Well, that's an anticlimax, isn't it?
Tackle 2. Yes. 2. I have no try. Can you just confirm that he doesn't get the ball to the ground at some stage through here?
Poor old Gavin's the only one down there. The players are back up. Jake Trbojevic is giving every impression he didn't get it down, and he's ready for a play the ball upfield.
He looks short.
Yeah.
He looks to be well and truly short there, Jake.
They're rolling on it up there.
What happens from here?
I want to know.
Hang on. Jake, it all depends on when the tackle's complete.
Well, Semi comes in late and steals it off him.
Said it earlier. It's the beautiful game, boys. Have a look at this.
Looks like an ugly game of Twister, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's a mess.
What about your games of Twister, Andy?
Yep. 10 metres out.
You leave me out of them.
Thank you.
They're going to give a penalty here to Manly.
Just wait. Gavin's going to rule it. He's in the in goal.
Yeah, 3
So
players
Gavin
in
will
the
let you know
tackle.
when
I'll just explain this.
reset.
I'll explain this to Greg.
Gavin's going to explain it. You're going to reset on the goal line. Manly ball. Gavin's got it.
You're going to play the ball in.
Well,
So
he's
what we've
held
got,
up.
tackles complete in the in goal. So tackle 2, Manly play the ball.
Jake Trbojevic to play it.
They're saying that the tackle was complete, so not a penalty. They're saying the tackle was complete in goal. So you go back to the 10-metre line to play
Yeah,
it.
no, I'm fine, mate.
Sam has stripped it after the effect, after the point of that. Anyway, I can live with all of that, I suppose. Write a book about it. Tapau, nice fend. He's run at Gagai. Some effort if South Sydney can restrict Manly, the 9-try team of last week, to just the 1 4-pointer. Manly now having their 32nd tackle of the night inside South Sydney's 20. That's quite a tally. Perrott with it this time. Great tackle. Sam Burgess again. Around the legs. Coruscant. Tom Trbojevic off legs. Towed through. And then South Sydney with Gagai. They would form the best slips combination in the world with some of their catches tonight, South Sydney.
Oh, good shot there. And again, it's Jake Trbojevic fighting till the very end. But just with the South Sydney Rabbitohs, their defence, all the flamboyant tries and work that they've done so far this evening. Look at that from Burgess too, palming off Kelly. Seabold, Coach Seabold would be most impressed with their defence. And their defence those last couple of sets of 6 under pressure. But he won't be impressed with that error.
No, ball stripped away, and then Parker has his chance. Thomas Burgess, an awesome run. Kelly felt the brunt, as did James Fisher-Harris last week on the end of a George Burgess palm. So again, Manly 5 metres from the line, but only 7 minutes remaining, and 30-6 down. Tom Trbojevic out for Tafua. The South Sydney defence is all over it. All over it tonight.
That's the picture. That's the picture you want to see. You're a South Sydney fan and the coaching staff. Fighting right to the death. Taking so much pride in your defensive line. It's been so physical.
Yes, indeed. And Wahoo and woohoo from Kenar and Gagai, and the South players come rushing over.
You can score tries. Saving them is just important. Same emphasis put on those. Saving tries and as much as scoring them. Bagged a couple and stopped a certain one there.
South Sydney against Canterbury on Friday, their next opponent. Manly to take on the Raiders at Lottoland. Now for Inglis for Souths. 30-6. It's comprehensive. Crichton with it. It's a lot of the little areas that Anthony Seibold will be incredibly impressed by his team tonight. But nice to get 5 tries on the board, or 6 tries on the board as well, as now Burgess offloads to Sam. So Thomas to Sam. It's thrown over the top for Jennings. 15 inside the Manly half. Last tackle down the short side. I don't know whether that was a kick or what that was from Walker.
Yeah, just took his eyes off at Walker. And some sort of hook back kick in mind. Here comes big Tommy Burgess straight through the middle of the ruck. Nice support from the middle forwards. Looping pass out to Jennings. Tried to keep it alive.
Pretty good pack when they're all on song, this South Sydney forward pack. And you just saw the work there of Murray as well.
Yeah, how do you bottle this? That's a $1 million question of all coaches. How do you bottle this performance and just enthusiasm? And, you've got to keep playing at the standard. Probably 7 out of 10 each week to have a successful season. So,
well, that's the challenge, isn't it, Bedsy? You look at the Melbourne Storm over the last decade. They can maintain their performances week in and week out. That is the biggest challenge. Every team at their best has the potential. Knock on here from Croker. So the woes continue for Manly. What an ordinary night it's been, really, for Manly. They've been lucky to fire a shot. Just haven't been in the contest. Trent Barrett, he'll be thinking, what the hell has happened the last 6 days? Is this really happening? Wake me up. Sorry, Baz, it is.
The roller coaster.
Oh.
Strap yourself in,
Have
Baz.
a look at him.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
A split shot this time last week after the game.
Nights like this, you'll go back to the car park and the car's got a flat tyre. That'd top it off, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Car doesn't start, you left the lights on, one of those things.
Probably a good thing. Trying to reflect by yourself in the car.
Different sort of playlist on. And then Nathan Brown up there at Newcastle had a playlist last couple of years.
Is that right?
Yes.
Stories from the inside.
Try and cheer yourself up somehow.
Rabbitohs back with the ball 40 metres away. And Crichton has it now. Yeah, when the Burgess boys are on song, you throw Crichton, Murray to the mix, Cook doing his job at a dummy half. It's pretty effective. John Sutton experienced out on the left edge. Now Cook. And another kick for young Adam to put up. Out towards Duarte. Jennings knocks it back. Play on for Jennings. Got it away to Inglis. Inglis offloads to Walker. Walker looking to put the icing on the cake. And Heimel Hunt has done that. He's put a bit of red and green icing on it. Here at ANZ. It's a big win to South Sydney.
Well, congratulations to Anthony Seibold and Dave Ferner there, the staff. But you go down right back down to this corner where they saved the try. The energy, enthusiasm you get out of that. Most of the time you go down there and you put something on really good down the other end of the field. They haven't even used GI yet. They've still got that up their sleeve to use big GI. But just nice little interchange of passing there. So more numbers, more people in the frame than Manly. This will be South's biggest win against Manly since 2005. A lot of celebrations in the sheds there for the South Sydney Rabbitohs tonight.
So it now goes to an 82-point swing by Manly, a 16-try swing, if you like. They scored 9 themselves to zip last week and now have conceded 7 this week.
A week is a long, long time in this game.
Tipsters, what do you do? What formula do you follow to tip rugby league in 2018?
But that's why we love it, because we love seeing teams come back the next week and put on a show for their fans, and we don't like to go back-to-back bad performances. But that's a big turn of events for both these teams.
Well, this would be nice. He got his last one from the touchline after the Jennings third try. He's gone back to the left of the upright. So he's 1 from 4 from the left-hand touchline. 1 minute to go. They're happy in the Burrow. And their season is underway in week 3. So Canterbury break their duck last night. South Sydney do it here tonight. Canberra is left winless, and either Parramatta or Cronulla will be winless after tonight, and well, barring a 90-minute draw, but I don't think that will happen. And ANZ Stadium becomes a cursed venue still for Manly. It's their biggest ever loss here, in fact. And now, well, everything unravels. The kickoff's out on the full. South Sydney will come back to the centre of halfway. Can they push on to 40?
I'd love to know how Coach Barrett's going to talk to his team after this. He won't be going too over the top, I'm sure, but it's been dealt a real harsh lesson here. A lot of just fundamental errors after an exemplary effort last week.
Well, South Sydney are going to have a red-hot go for try number 8. Johnston out to Inglis. Gee, Parker's stocks have gone up in this game. Some of his defence. Crunching stuff. And now Hunt with it. Inside the 20. 15 seconds to go. Cross for Cook. One of the Burgess boys are trying to finish maybe. Sam held there. This will be the last play of the match. Cook up. They use a decoy. Through the centre. Comes Crichton and across field. Cut off load. He's beaten a couple. That'll do. That'll do for South Sydney. They've got their first win of 2018, and it's a big one. Against a side coming off a 54-point win. What an amazing turnaround. Full time at ANZ Stadium. South Sydney 34, Manly 6.
He hits it, he's got it! He's got the field goal! He's